The main thing that I offer as a videography company is that I sell client testimonials. So, say you're a business, like a landscaping business, or I don't know, a law firm. I'll sit down with one of your clients, but I don't do it in person. I do it over the internet. I do what's called remote videography. So it kind of works like a Zoom call, and your client's there, comfortable at home. I'm also comfortable at home as well, so that works for me. And of course, that works out for the actual business as well because they get the social validation from the client testimonial video. The happy client is still happy because they don't have to be inconvenienced by someone coming to their house and taking a bunch of time because it's literally something I can do in 15 minutes. And when it comes to you actually getting the job, like, it's relatively easier to sell someone on client testimonials because businesses already value testimonials. A lot of them already have written testimonials on their website, so they know that social validation works. Yes, you're still gonna have to like sell them on your price, but it's a lot easier when it's something that they already value and that they feel more certain will give them an actual result. And the special way that I've like really tapped into this and taken advantage of this is, like I said, the fact that I have a remote business. I never record people in person. It's funny because for a while, without thinking about it, I was really emphasizing time when it comes to like explaining my value. So if someone said, okay, why is it worth me paying this much, like this high of a price? It'd be like, I go into how long it takes to edit, I go into how much time I'm going to give them to record. But even with the remote stuff, it's like, oh, there's no setup. So we have a lot more time to just actually have me ask questions. And that way you get more bang for your buck. But at the end of the day, I realized, okay, people actually really only care about the deliverables. I mean, truth be told, they just care about really getting clients and more money. But before that, they want the deliverable, which is the video. So whether you say it takes 5 hours to make a video or 2 hours to make a video, it really doesn't matter to them. They do hear the number, but it's like, at the end of the day, am I getting the video or not? And then once I realized that, I thought about it even deeper. Like, okay, they don't really care about how much time I'm spending on editing. They just want the video. And then when it comes to client testimonials and the happy, satisfied clients that I'm interviewing, they really don't want to spend like an hour or even like 30 minutes just talking to some guy like as a favor for a business that made them happy. Even if they like did a great service, it's still a favor to leave about 30 minutes of your time. Then I thought, okay, what if instead of 30-minute time slots, I do 15-minute time slots, and they go over, it really doesn't matter. I'm not going to do anything else with the other 15 minutes. But it sets the expectation that I'm not going to take a lot of your time, which works for me as a videographer. It works for them as a person like who needs to schedule the time. And then when it comes to the actual business that is paying me, the 15 minutes thing is great for them because most likely they'll feel pretty awkward like asking past clients to do them a favor and like record a video. But if you say that it's only going to take 15 minutes, and they don't even have to leave their house. They just need to have like a clean background. And everything's going to be like sent to them beforehand in terms of forms and resources. And so bottom line, it's like a simple process. And if you're able to like assure them of that, then it makes for like a much easier sell. And it's not even that I'm saying that I sell like a ridiculous amount of packages for this reason. Honestly, selling is something I really struggle with. But that is literally why I care so much about this business model and why I emphasize it so much. Because if I was struggling with like the prices that come with in-person videography, like yes, it's still like a difficult process to sell somebody, but because I'm doing it in a way that's convenient for everybody, but honestly, much more importantly, for a more affordable price, it is like selling on easy mode or at least medium mode instead of hard. And the great thing for videography companies and video editors is that it doesn't even have to be a cheap option. It can definitely just be the affordable downsell for your videography business. So me personally, the only videos I do are remote. I never record people in person, so that's my whole business. But if you still want to do that, if you still want to have like real cinematic looks most of the time, and then only use a remote video option when it's, a client that really can't afford you otherwise, like that's something that's going to actually get a really good return. Because the way that the platform that I use, like Riverside.fm, that's what it's called, the way that it's set up with its AI and the way that it integrates into Premiere Pro and Final Cut, it really speeds up the process, especially on the editing end. Actually, most importantly on the editing end. And once you really learn the system or like have an employee learn the system, whatever, like you're really able to streamline the process. And that allows you to get really good at producing a high volume of videos. I think a really good use case for that is creating shorts. Like a lot of people know that it's not just about quality, it's also about like volume and the amount of shorts that you put out. Honestly, a crazy amount of businesses just really can't afford to have like an actual person come in, make content for them, also post all this stuff. it gets really pricey. And so remote videography just serves as a way to still get the message out there. I mean, no, it's quite frankly, it's not going to be the same cinematic quality as like an actual like high-end camera. That's just not going to happen. But at the same time, especially if they use like an iPhone camera or like a MacBook camera, but especially phone cameras, like if you can have them record on that, then quite honestly, the image quality difference is really going to be negligible. Because if I can use just window lighting to make something like this, because as videographers, we know that lighting is very, very important for image quality. If I can get the right lighting set up, which honestly just comes with practice and knowing how to set up people's like life situations remotely, and then on top of that, if I can ask the right questions, or I can know enough about the business, all that is going to lead to an actually good video, and no one's really going to care about the extra pixels it could have had if it was in 8K instead of 4K. And so that's why my content is focused towards videographers, video companies, because I know that this is a business model that can and will work, especially if you have the infrastructure and employees to successfully do it. Like I said, I'm really not that great at selling. I just know I have a structure and like processes and recording process that I have down to a science and I can teach other people. Because it took me a while to realize that if you're recording someone remotely, there's a form you should send them beforehand. There's some questions you should ask them beforehand. You should know what type of phone or laptop they're going to use. There's going to be certain things that you have to check for or say beforehand or account for that might be completely different when you're recording in person because you're actually there in the space and you can like move things around, like do whatever, change like the tripod angle, all different stuff. And so the kit that I sell is full of forms and resources that someone can easily implement into their own business so they can get straight to the revenue from remote videography without having to go through all the hurdles and difficulties that I had to. And that kit can be found in the description.